Using SharePoint for document management is very easy. Here we have a finance department that has scanned in a number of documents. They have invoices, they have archived RFPs, they have vendor contracts, they might have expense forms, requisitions, any number of documents that a finance department would use. If someone was to look for an invoice because of a call to research something, they could simply come to this button, put in the invoice number, and the invoice number pops up. Maybe someone calls and says, I'm looking for a vendor. I'm not quite sure what their name is, but it has the word bridge in it. You could simply put bridge in this field, click find invoice, and anything with bridge in the name would come back to you. Now you can see here these invoices have been searched for by the invoice number and by the vendor. You could search for them by due date, amount, cost center, status, and these columns here are all customizable by your finance department. A document is just simply uploaded here or scanned into the image automatically, into SharePoint automatically, where it can be later searched for. It can also be pushed to different departments to approve the invoice electronically. They receive an email notification asking them to approve the invoice. They come out to this library and they put their comments in as to whether or not they agree or they do not agree that this invoice should be paid. Let's look at another example over here in human resources. If I am a HR manager and I want to look for a document, let's say I want to find Joe Biden's confidentiality NDA agreement. I could go look for it, and if it's in there, I will find it. Well, maybe I want to see everything from Joe Biden, and I could just simply go here, filter, and there's all of Joe Biden's records. Now we could tell you what you are missing by using a component that we've created called Perfect File. This allows you to know what you are missing in any document library. So for instance, in HR records, we would show you that you are missing a document for an employee by putting it in the alerts queue. You define which documents have to be included in this records management file per employee, and then we will set up the system to notify you when someone is missing. Right now, Keith Gisbert is missing these two documents, and Joe Biden is missing these. They will disappear from this queue once those documents are added. A couple of other things here. If you had some client files that you were scanning, and you wanted to, again, find anything on the client, you could say, give me everything for Nancy White. Put it in the filter, and you'll find it very easily. Clear that out. Now you'd say, let me see something from anybody with the social starting with 123. There you go, and you find it very easily. A couple of other things would be helpful in document management. Probably one last thing, managing vendor contracts. Here I have scanned in or uploaded all my vendor contracts, and I've put these columns up here. I want to know who the vendor ID is, what his ID is, what their name is, the contract number, start date, end date, and notified date, and maybe even a renewal date. So I see here a list of my vendors. I would click on this vendor name and I would see that I have a start date and end date and then a notify me date. SharePoint is great about notifying of issues with contracts, meaning that they are coming up soon and need to be dealt with. So you can be notified ahead of time so that you do not miss a negotiation. There are many other things we could show you, but these are the basics. Basically, document management is putting documents in here, naming them by certain pieces of information so that you can search for them by those pieces of information.